Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Thumbs down, thumbs sideways as we welcome you to Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. Ivan Teller, we're going to get some channeling in with some aliens tonight. Yes, we are going there. It's going to be a blast tonight. Let's get to the roll call. Acreon taking home the gold medal tonight. Race Fan with a silver. Wes H taking home the bronze medal. Mennonite Abe, Gorgeous Cosmic Fleur, and B, how you doing tonight? Eris Manna, the stunning Samantha, Hazelwood Gray, good to see you. Night Gazer is back, and we'll be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind, to the left of the studio. Russell Gill, Todd Purdon, Mama Susan, good to have you all here. Awesome Ann Palmer, Sal Manuel, welcome to SOR Chat. Dirty Filth, good to have you here, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Apollo 11, good to have you back. And there's Mark Longoria, everyone. Give him a wave. He always waves back. Goof Eater, nice to have you here. The Gorgeous Dirt Road, always a pleasure to have you here. Hey, Evan Walters, what's happening, man? Blue Crossroads, welcome to SOR Chat. Doug Shelby is here, everyone. The Doug Shelby. The Lip Blade is here. There he is. Yep, we love the lip blade around here. Isn't that nice? Look how tight that stash is. Oh, that's nice. All right, sweet Patty B, how you doing? Gorgeous. And we continue on with roll call. Obi Flat, what's happening? And there's our man Millennium, always here. Little Marky Spender is here. There he is. He'll be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio and pet Baxter while you're there. Yeah, don't pet Mark, pet Baxter. The Gong Show, nice to have you here. Triple M, nice to see you. And who else do we have here? My chat room just jumped on me. Damn it, I hate when that happens. All right. Robert Lamoth, how you doing? The Gorgeous Fidgety Aura, good to see you. Zero Cool, nice to have you back. Bigfoot Michigan Rob, always a pleasure to have you here. William Nighthawk, welcome to SOR Chat from Virginia. The Gorgeous Sonia's News, Stéphane Baudin, bonjour, comment ça va? Hey, Stephen Wolf. Uncle Dale and his power stash are here. If you're in Austin, Texas, and you see Uncle Dale, rub his power stash for good luck right through tax time. There is the gorgeous and amazing Heather McIntyre from Vegas. She will be at the Vegas party. Yes, she will. Mark my words. Oob to Joe's Maine. You've got aliens. Yes, you do. Tony Jean, thank you for coming into our chat room. Michael Darling, nice to have you here. Stu Gerson. The Gorgeous Kim Jellin, UAP Mike, what's happening? And who else do we have here? There's Sir Whiskers, welcome to our chat room. And Penman, what are you doing? Hey, Fedora John, how you doing, buddy? Nice to have you here. And Kathleen Hughes, welcome to SOR Chat. Thank you for joining us. Who else is here? Let me see. The Gorgeous Jessica McCreary, the Scowling Greg O'Brien. There he is. Give us a good scowl. There's our favorite Marine, Black Dragon, right there. The man, the myth, and the legend, Black Dragon, all rolled into one. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yes, we love that man. All right. Did I miss anybody? Good way to support this show. The Super Chat is open. Give us a thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. we would greatly appreciate it, as we are here 7 days a week. Tomorrow, Lynn Wallington is here from 6 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific. That's starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then after that, we got the after-hour show with the awesome Big Willie Townsend, Jon Hudson, Gemma Jade, and Thin Lizzy going into after hours both Saturday and Sunday night. We love that show. Absolutely do. Fantastic programming. I will be back on Monday with a special show. Nicole Sackich will be with us, and then we will be joined by Jimmy Church. But before our show, I will be appearing on Jimmy Church's Fade to Black. We're just going to talk some weird stuff. That's what we're going to do. Absolutely. Let's see. Where are we here? Jesse Peak, how are you, bud? Good to see you. Fapster in the studio. What's happening? And who else has come in here? Nicola, the Luscious Jewels. And Dry Toast. Here we go. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot, reading Shirky Poo's Newswire, and checking out our swag as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We got a good show for you tonight. We're going to channel some aliens tonight. Ivan Teller is here. Then in hour number 3, we are going to head to the swamp and have another spooky story from Swamp Dweller. The fedora-wearing Jon Hudson will join us for the Unbiased UFO Report. Shirky Poo's got the news, and now we're off and running. If you've never heard of Ivan Teller before, he is a pretty talented man. He has been channeling aliens and angels since March of 2015. He had his own psychic awakening around 2011, connecting to his guides and learning the metaphysical arts. The first being he channeled was his spirit guide, Ulysses. After that, it was followed by a Zeta Grey by the name of J-Rod. Soon after this channeling discovery, Ivan started publishing his channelings video online. The first beings he connected to were Yeshua, tall blonde Nordics, Arcturians, Annunaki, and several Archangels. We're going to find out all about channeling tonight. Very much glad to have Ivan Teller back on Spaced Out Radio. How you doing, my friend?
Whoa, greetings. Thanks for having me. Well, again.
It's been a few months since we had you here, but we're glad to have you back. What have you been up to?
Yeah, just channeling every night. Actually, my anniversary, 7-year anniversary, is on the 15th of this month. So it's been, but yeah, just channeling every night. To put out a channeled text book, basically book of channelings. So that's separate from what I've been doing. So it's not like recordings I've already done. That's new material, basically. So
excellent. My friend, for people who may not understand what channeling is, give us a description of what it's like to have ethereal beings send messages through you.
Yeah, so you basically go into an altered state where, yeah, it's different for everybody, but for me, it's, I kind of get pushed to the side to a certain level where a being can come through me and speak through me. And sometimes I can know what they're talking about. Sometimes I don't. It all depends on, like, if it goes on for an hour, if it's like a private channeling for someone, usually I'm not involved with that. But if it's a a live channel like this. Sometimes I'm aware of it. It depends. But yeah, you just basically go to a higher altered state. So another being comes through you, and it depends on the being how far they want to go about themselves, their world. But really, it's about us. I mean, some beings like to talk about their planet, but it's really about us and us healing ourselves, and for us to be healing our problems. Basically, alien beings or angels can be like psychiatrist beings, help us through our problems, basically.
I want to ask you, how did you know and find out that you had the ability to channel?
Well, I've been channeling. You probably heard this for other channelers, like they would work on fiction. I worked on fiction since high school, so that was a form of channeling. It didn't really go anywhere. I feel like it wasn't really my direction, but I did it for forever. And sometimes it wasn't going anywhere, so I stopped doing and go do something else, and that wouldn't go anywhere. But when I found channeling, I found first my awakening, my spiritual awakening, and then when I saw channeling, I've seen it before, but I didn't really, I've seen other people do it, physically. I'm in the same room and see that, like somebody would channel an angel, and you see them switch out, and the angel would speak through them. It was very short, but for me, it just I got directed to it at work after my awakening and my second awakening in 2014. I was at work minding my own business, and just it was real quiet, and I got the message of reptilian channeling, and then I was like, where am I been this whole time? Because David Icke and all that. It's like, I should have been looking that up for a long time ago. So I looked it up, and I found somebody channeling a reptilian. It's like, So I just started investigating for a couple of months. I just tapped into aliens like you tap into someone's energy and do a reading for them. So like you would do a reading for a person, you tap into their vibration and, give them a regular reading. Like you do like a metaphysical connection there. So I did the same thing with aliens. But I wanted to, I was guided by my guides, like maybe I can bring these things through me. Because I figured that would be more validation for other people. My thought was to connect to somebody. I knew somebody had an interview that he'd had his own metaphysical podcast, and he interviewed someone with MUFON. So my thought was, so if I can bring a being through me, I can talk to that person. I emailed that person and never got back to me. But I found an audio online of how to channel. I went on YouTube and looked it up. It's like everybody else looks on YouTube for everything. Everything's been YouTube. It's like reptilian channeling, found that on YouTube. This is back in 2015. And how to channel. I found that. So I bought like a $30 audio on how to do it. So I just followed its instructions. Long story short, when I finally brought into my spirit guide, Ulysses, I knew this is what I was supposed to do. I didn't know anything else. I just know I should be doing it. That's about it. So I don't know. That's long story short.
So. I want to ask you, for a lot of people, they think channeling is grabbing a remote control and flipping through the channels as quickly as possible. And to be honest with you, that was my definition of it when I first started. And I had no idea what it was. But what is it like to have a spirit or an extraterrestrial come into your body and speak for you or with you?
Well, yeah, first off, everybody has a energy protection around you. So to get through that's why I channeled my spirit guide, because I couldn't get an angel through my energy field. But the spirit guide I was aware of already years prior. So it was familiar. So when you're familiar with some kind of being, a spirit being, it's like you feel their personality that comes through. It depends on the being. Sometimes they just come through for a message, but you know somebody's there. Now, is anybody else going to believe it? That's up to them. But because the being comes through you and uses your vocabulary, but then your voice gets kind of altered, and my eyes, my facial, like I switch out. My hands have to move around a certain way to connect to them. I just have to, like an antenna. But yeah, you could say it's like switching channels, though. Definitely, every being has a different frequency. Some alien beings are more psychic than other beings. It all depends on, and every being has their own purpose. So yeah, some can be draining depending on the being. But yeah, you feel their personalities, you feel their energy field, but you feel their intent, which is good for the most part. So.
Did you ever have any fear in getting started? Because when you are channeling, it's very hard, even though you're grounded, to keep control of what's going on.
When I first channeled, I didn't do recordings of it. The first ones I didn't do recordings of. Like the first night, I channeled a reptilian being. I saw my arm turn green. I mean, it wasn't physically green, but I could feel it go green. It was like, but not really. I feel like I'm pretty protected overall. Like I'm built with protection. I feel like I've been doing this in other worlds too before this lifetime. I feel like I did this on a reptilian world. I was kind of like very controlled. Over time, I was starting to feel that. So I'm not really worried. Yeah, it's all in your intention that you will be protected. You will be safe through this. Like I have a candle on right now, but I usually do my energy protections all the time. But I never really feel worried about it. If I'm doing channeling for somebody and they're erratic or something, that's where I'm not afraid, but that can cause some difficulties. So, yeah.
Have you ever been injured during a channeling session?
No, just sometimes tired, depending on the situation. It depends on if somebody that you're channeling for is draining. Not really. Not injured. I'm not. No, not that I'm aware of.
I got injured once.
Really?
I did. I was Samantha Mowat was walking me through. And went off to a far off world, man, a far off world. And on my way back, it was like it turned into one of those wormholes where all of a sudden all the stars turn into that white wall and you zoom through. And literally I could feel like the G-forces pulling up on my body and my back and my head, and my neck. And it was like all of a sudden it just slammed into Mother Earth here. And I kind of did a head snap back and my chest got sore and I started coughing real bad. And I ended up coughing so hard that I bruised my chest cavity.
Wow.
And a couple days later, I actually was having so much chest pain, I thought I was having a heart attack. And I went to emergency. And my family doctor happens to be working in emergency that day. And he goes, in his British accent, he's like, David, called me David. He goes, would you like to explain to me how you got this very uncommon injury? And I said, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And he goes, try me. So I told him exactly what happened. He goes, you're right. I don't believe you. He goes, I am a man of science. I don't believe in that crap. And I just laughed. I said, I told you, Doc. But yeah, that's what happened. I ended up with a majorly bruised chest cavity.
That does remind me of, sometimes I do channelings for people, and I would start coughing sometimes, or something would happen, like a door would close in the background, like stop talking, But yeah, sometimes I get a cough. I remember I did channeling really early. I channeled a mantis being for a lady, and her power shut off right when I brought the being through. It came back on, but it shut everything off. Everything was blacked out just as I brought it through. So
many channelers have the ability to when they're done the next day, it almost feels like they are hungover. The body is sore and drained. You got a headache, almost like a migraine, sore neck. Do you go through that the next day after you channel, or are you beyond that now?
Yeah, I think I'm beyond that, but I do rest before, like before this, I do a rest. Anytime I do a channeling for somebody, I rest at least an hour before, depending on what's going on. But yeah, it can be exhausting depending on what it is. But yeah, the next day it all depends. I do it so often. Yeah, usually I am pretty worn out. So I'm so used to it, it's just, yeah, I'm just walking around like a football player, basically. Injuries everywhere. But, yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of my attention to health to keep my, what I focus on is just to keep my sanity the best as I can. So,
how would you describe, how many times a day are you channeling?
Sometimes I get, for personal channeling, sometimes it's like 6 channelings a day, or not a day, every day, but some days I've done at a convention, I did like 9, 10 channelings in one day. That was rough. After that was when you're feeling it's like I can't move after this. So but yeah, usually like channel text, like channeling a book, that can wear you out. And here I'm just by myself channeling. Depends on what it is. It could be exhausting. You just want to sleep afterwards. And I'm not even channeling for anybody. I'm just channeling into the book. So
is it to the point for you with your channeling that you have the ability to just turn it on, or spirit can turn it on for you, and then just you start running the message?
yeah, as long as I'm well rested, yes. I mean, I can still be tired and do it, which I've done that plenty of times. But yeah, it seems like, no matter what, I can bring in somebody. Now, how much? Now, it depends on the situation. So sometimes you bring in a being like fully through like 30%. Sometimes they come in like 10%, meaning like they'll just answer your question and that's all you're going to get. You're going to get details about them that much, which is fine. You don't need to know everything about them anyway. But sometimes they can put more into it. The beings are real careful. Like if you're ready to receive information, they will surprise people. But, if they're asking for something like how did a person cross over, they might not tell you, but they'll tell you what they want to tell you, just like any spirit being that cross over. They'll tell you what they think that you should know.
I want to ask you this in regards to it. What's the difference between channeling a spirit, like a spirit guide, an extraterrestrial, and a ghost?
So a ghost, let's say a spirit. Yeah, so a spirit being that's crossed over, technically a ghost. Yeah, they could be. It all depends. The ones I channel are. Is that different for everybody to pick up on it? Because some people can channel someone that crossed over, and they can still remember like certain colors, certain things, like what color shirt did you wear, stuff like that. Some people can tap into that. When I channeled them, it's like they're done with the. It's interesting. It's like they're done with the physical. It's like they don't even want to hear about it. I mean, they'll talk about your emotions, help you through an ordeal, but they're not interested in the physical realm. Like some people would want to know, like someone that's crossed over in the family. It's like, what was their favorite toy that they played with, or whatever, like what their sweater is. And these beings don't seem to be that interested. And it can get kind of heavy depending on the people that are talking to them, because they're very emotional with someone that just crossed over. It all depends. Some people are cool with it, and you can actually, get what you need out of it. But some people are specific in what they get, like, did they mow the lawn or something, or something personal, and that's where it gets tricky because they don't always want to talk about that. For an alien being, it can be a little bit heavy depending on what it is, like if it's a reptilian being or a Zeta. It all depends. Yeah, it's similar to a spirit being a lot of ways. So it's alien beings can be very easy going, very light, but some can be heavy, meaning like a reptilian can have a lot of galactic karma around them. It all depends. But spirit beings are usually the easiest because they're lighter. So they just be like a spirit guide. But it's funny about spirit guides, though. They don't always know anything about you. So it's interesting. Like they know some things, but if you channel somebody that just crossed over, like a friend, that friend can know more about you than your own spirit guide.
Yes. How do you recall your channeling? Because I know when I have channeled, there is a lot of information that I do not personally remember. I need to record it.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. That's the frustrating part about it. You bring in all this information and you don't remember any of it. It's like, and I don't want to listen to myself again, really. So I just kind of, yeah, usually I'm toned out. I'm not really part of it. I mean, I'm there, of course. I know something's going on, but I don't remember it. Yeah, so that's, yeah. I mean, what I need to know, if I ask to recall it, like if it's a public channeling, if I feel like I need to know it, it'll stay with me. But a lot of times, it's like, too much information. It can really drain you out. So,
do you even know what you're saying, or are you just that tuned out that the spirit is what's speaking through you?
well, when I'm doing a public channeling, like here, I can know what I'm saying. Yeah, but remembering is another story because especially when you go on for an hour. So,
So for you, as you go through this process, how do you set yourself up for a channeling session?
usually I rest for 30 minutes or an hour, depending on, because I have a job also. That's more in the morning. It's become less and less. But yeah, usually I lay down. I just lay down. I clear out my energies by just doing that. Just take it, just resting, basically. And it's all in your intentions too. I drink water. I don't eat anything heavy. Try not to. And just it's all in your thoughts too. You have clear thoughts. It makes things easier for everybody. So,
But do you ground yourself?
yeah, I ground. Yeah, protect myself. I do that before every channeling. Yeah, do energy protection. Yeah. So,
Okay, and take us through that process as we got about 2 minutes to go.
yeah, I do like two shield energies around me, and usually bring light to my root chakra. It goes down to the center of the earth. It connects to the center of the earth. It connects around the earth. It goes through my chakras, and it goes around me. So, and it's all in your intentions too. I do it pretty quickly. I'm used to doing it. I do it every morning also. I do it in the morning when I wake up, and I do it before every channeling, even before I did this.
And how does that improve your own spirit and alignment?
It just, you clear out any static energy, any being other, you want to connect to like an Arcturian or a Zeta Palladian, you're actually connecting to that being instead of you're just connected to everybody and you're just overloaded, and it just makes, it's like you're sharpening your connection, you could say. So
That's the big one, is sharpening that connection. How do you know when you're ready?
the channel, a lot of people they feel like they're ready, but they're nowhere near ready. I mean, for me, it found me. So, I mean, I knew about it back in 2011. I didn't start doing it in 2015. So, I don't know if I was ready back then in 2011. You just become guided to it. If you want to do it, just do it. And if it's not working for you, it's good to keep trying. But it's not meant for everybody, though, as you know.
So, I hear you there, my friend. I'm going to get you to hold on right there. When we come back, we're going to see if we can convince Ivan Teller to do a little channeling for us. Yeah. And maybe we'll get some questions from our audience to ask any spirit that comes through. If Ivan is okay with that, we will do it. Let's turn up the woo, people. This is what tonight is all about. Channeling aliens, spirits, spirit guides, whatever wants to come through, Ivan's going to channel it for you. Spaced Out Radio continues with the second half hour when we return. Clocks go forward tomorrow night because at 2 a.m. on the 13th is when the time change happens. So when you go to bed tomorrow night, turn your clocks ahead 1 hour. AZ Man, how you doing? And who else? The gorgeous Diesel Girl. That's gearing down. Girl. We have a question about what is the cat's name, Ivan?
Oh, this is Priscilla. Priscilla, Queen of the Mountain. Because she's on the mountain right now. That's technically
right.
The other one's Fritzy. She's over here. You can't see her.
Thurston Howell III, nice to have you here. Give Lovey a kiss for us if you don't mind. And Lunar Tina, nice to have you here. Eve Clancy, welcome to SOR Chat. Dark Magician, welcome to SOR Chat. Mm-hmm. FAP is the only one with still a MySpace account.
Maybe we'll be going back to MySpace one day.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Joyce. I am your time clock for the East Coast, for Central Time, Mountain Time, and here in British Columbia. The rest of them, I don't know. The rest of them, I just don't know. Let's see. Who else is here? Lee Pepping, how are you, man? Nice to have you back, buddy. River Dogma, good to have you here. Shout out to Tom. Which Tom are we shouting out? Tom, we're going to shout out. Tom! Tom! What the hell are we doing here, Tom? That's all I got. Tom! Tom? Tom? He's like, shut up already, silly Canadian. At the tone, the time will be. Little Marky Spender. Apparently, Steve Ishdahl got a report from a guy who had dogman sightings a few years ago in 100 Mile. Somewhere around here. Dogman sightings. Tom.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's just shout out Tom the next half hour. We're going to ask the spirit, whatever you bring in. Tell us about Tom.
Which Tom?
I don't know. My brother Eugene is here. Love Eugene. There he is. Oh, and that's funny. Eve says, my husband Tom wants to know who's calling his name.
Especially at this time of the hour.
Yeah, exactly. Got about about a minute and a half here.
Okay.
2 minutes, maybe. 2 minutes? Yeah, 2 minutes.
Guess it's warming up in your part of the world, I'm assuming.
Finally. It was snowing earlier today.
Jeez.
Lee Labreche, welcome to SOR Chat.
Yeah, it's 75 degrees here.
Very nice. No, we had our false spring a couple weeks ago, and now we got to go through this cold spell, which should end in the next day or two. And then let's see, what's the temperature here? It's 31 Fahrenheit, -1 Celsius right now. Supposed to snow tonight and tomorrow. And then it warms up Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, yeah. Spring is almost here. It is officially lose the hoodie weather pretty soon. That hits at 8 degrees, man. I'm back in T-shirts. Back in T-shirts, just like that. Yeah, 40 degrees, about 36 to 40 degrees. That's T-shirt weather.
Yeah, people here don't know what to wear. Should wear a jacket? Should I not wear a jacket? They can't figure it out.
I agree, man. New England Dirt Roadie, welcome to SOR Chat. Christine Arsini, welcome to SOR Chat. Ufologist, welcome back, my friend. Thank you so much to our man Donnie, Joe, and Andrew for the super chats. The super chat is a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up, thumbs down. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Here we go with the second half hour. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We very much appreciate it. I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We're speaking tonight with Ivan Teller. He is a channeler of spirits, and we're going to get into this momentarily, where he is going to go into his zone and start channeling, hopefully, some aliens for us. See if he can find Carl out there. See if you can find Carl. Yes. All right. But before we do, Ivan, I got a couple questions from our audience here. I normally don't ask questions until hour number 2, but because it's kind of a different show tonight, I will bring them on in here. New England Dirt Roadie is asking, what do people come to you for to have you channel for them?
Answer their spiritual questions, spirit guides. Who are spirit guides that are life purpose, to give us some kind of direction, to clear out some of the clutter so they can connect more spiritually to, their path, to clear out their path so they can, bring more happiness to themselves. It's different for everyone, of course, but it's just basically to get more in tune to the ether realms. So.
All right. Well, let's go over to Kathleen here. And she is asking, what is the worst and best channeling you've done?
I don't know if I remember. Oh. The best channeling is the one I just did. Or tonight. Tonight would be the best one. It's always like your what is it? Your best channeling, or your best, is right now, is like, that's what defines you, is your last channeling. So the worst channeling, I don't know. I had one recent, not a bad channeling, but I came from work, from like being up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I got out of work at 9 o'clock. I had to do a webinar after that. That was last month. That was in January. And I was really tired after that. I don't know if that was it was a good channeling, but it was a long day.
Oh, I bet. All right. Who do we want to go to first? Like, how do you know when you go into the zone who we're going to connect with? Do you have to point it out? Do you have to ask for them?
No. Well, right now the Palladians are here. I feel they're the Nordic Palladians is what I feel right now.
Really?
So they just showed up. Yeah. So if you want to talk to them, or
let's talk to the Nordic Pleiadians.
Okay. Usually, I think it's not really a certain name. It feels like it's just a collective. They usually do collectives. So it's just a bunch of them talking. They might give a name, but usually that's like a human thing, you can say. So.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Blessings. Greetings. We are the Palladians. Blessings. Much of our energies are around New Mexico area due to the climate of the earth right now. As you know, there's much going on in the world. So there's just a lot of changes in the air. So our presence here is, yes, protection as much as we can. We can't go beyond certain limits. We have our limitations here to assist humanity, but we are everywhere, along with many other beings. Of course, the feline beings are here also to assist. But we come here to you to connect to your vibrations to say hi, basically.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We very much appreciate you taking the time to come and sit with us and our audience tonight. For everything that is going on this planet, a lot of people here are very worried about the future of what is going on, whether it would be World War III, whether it would be climate change, whether it would be, are we going to be able to afford to put food on our table very soon? Is there going to be a time very soon when we are able to relax a little bit as a collective society?
Yes, eventually, but it is also, even technically, the universe is getting your attention. So it's not to give in to fear. Realize you will find the food that you need. I mean, realize this situation is also to shed what you do not need. Your 2020 had a lot of that. It's just moving things you don't need anymore, clearing out clutter. So in this state, it's the same thing. But the beings that are ruling your planet, you can say, is the more that you want to understand it and not have fear, the more that you will grow. The more fear you have, it's going to take longer. Yes, there is a growth there, yes. But it's a little bit harder to, you just roll with it. And
do you have a timeline?
A timeline of what exactly?
Will it be in human years, in months?
For things to, well, it can happen now. Even, yes, with all the clutter going on in the world, you don't have to let it affect yourself too much. Yes, you have to adjust your life slightly. But it's also to, know there's light, well, possibly 5 years. But that can always change. But what's happening now, we feel is what humanity needs to happen currently.
And why does this need to happen?
Darkness that has been hiding for a long time has to be seen, has to be released. It's like the dragon needs to come out of the ground. That's what's happening currently. So for you to find peace, you have to clear out corruption. So that's what's happening currently.
Very understandable. Now, where are you located right now? I know you were channeling through Ivan here, but where are you specifically in our universe right now?
Well, currently we are around your Earth. We are around the Nordic countries. You say Norway. But we are connecting to you here. We are connected to much of your mountains of Mount Shasta also. So,
let me ask you this. Are you here often? Is this part of your own scientific duty for the Pleiadian species?
Well, it's for our human duty, humanity, to keep humanity going, to give humanity, hope. But more than that, I mean, if humanity loses here, we lose also. So you are part of our DNA, just not just as just for DNA, but just you are human, we are human, we are one, you can say.
How can we as individuals help out? Because many of us feel very powerless right now.
Oh, right now, just help out on your own mental health, to know that you'll be guided to safety if anything happens, and you will make it through. And this helps you connect with friends, family. Fear in the mind can create all kinds of problems, and to heal that and trust the future. Trust that you will be where you need to be in a positive way. So,
do you see in this part of darkness right now a lot more death and carnage among humanity before this gets better? Because there's a lot of people wondering what's going to go on. Should they be preparing themselves for other, worst case scenarios?
well, if you feel like you need to prepare, follow your soul journey for that. We feel like you can't really ignore it. Some people are just preparers. They're just there to, be ready for anything. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for those that don't feel like they need to, just follow your intuition. So the more you follow your intuition, the more, you'd be surprised how at ease you can be. Of course, many are very connected to the physical realm, but this is how it actually helps you become more spiritual, trusting their intuition. Which is
how many other species are you aligned with in order to protect this planet so we don't screw it up anymore?
19.
Who are they?
Some of them, we can name some of them. Of course, other Palladian beings, Syrian beings, Arcturian beings, even positive Orion beings, some reptilian beings are assisting. There's all kinds of, there's a lot of canine beings assisting your planet, actually. And of course, the feline energies are assisting also.
And why is it necessary and important to protect this planet?
Because it's part of the universe of healing a lot of difficulties in the universe. So this isn't the only place where there's conflict. It seems like this is the only place, but there are other places. It might not be as much on the, there's a lot going on throughout the universe that many beings come here to settle their differences. And you can say that's what's happening now. And humanity's understanding the darkness, especially within the governments. Many are having a wake-up call. And they're not always realizing how deep this goes. And many are discovering it, but not letting it get to them where it interferes with their health.
Is it true what a lot of people believe, that many governments of this planet are run by those connected to reptilians?
Well, it's not just reptilians. There are Nordic beings. There are Syrian beings. There are different alien beings. There are insectoid beings. So it's not just reptilians.
Yes, but we look at the reptilians as being more of a violent dictatorship rather than a peaceful, loving type of sentient being.
Mm-hmm. Well, some Syrian beings can be very destructive also. So you get the Middle East manipulations there. So, but yeah, some reptilian beings can be very harsh, but some can be also very loving. But yes, there is a reptilian presence here, no doubt about it.
All right, we are channeling beings through Ivan Teller tonight, talking with a consortium of Pleiadians right now and trying to figure out what is happening to this planet. What is the purpose of extraterrestrial beings being here, and how long have you been here?
Well, we've been here since the dawn of time, since the Earth was created. Now, doesn't mean all the beings were attracted to this planet in the beginning. There's always been an alien presence here in some form. You do have a lot of insectoid beings that have a lot of knowledge of this Earth. And it's for soul growth. It's for our growth. Many alien planets, yes, are very positive. They don't have the problems of your world, but we still have problems. And this is how we grow, as to incarnate into your world, to improve our realities, to become, more self-sufficient. I mean, just because you're on a positive planet doesn't mean it doesn't have difficulties, because it can also lose its direction. Meaning it can become dark over time. So incarnating in your world understands darkness.
How do you get here? Do you fly through portals?
Yes.
Do you fly through wormholes to get here?
Mostly wormholes, but yes, interdimensional travel. Yes. Your Bermuda Triangle is one.
How long does it take to get here?
Depending on sometimes minutes, sometimes hours. Normally it's very quickly. Depends on how you want to get here. Someone can get here with a single thought. But those are more advanced beings.
Do you have a choice whether or not you want to come here?
Yes. But many do choose it because they know it is part of their growth. Protecting the Earth or being assistants of the Earth does it's part of the Palladian growth. But not all Palladians are assisting this planet, though.
Are
We
there
have our own military, you could say.
are there Pleiadians walking on this planet right now? Are you
Yes, there's
able
several. Yes.
as hybrids or as full-fledged Pleiadians?
As full-fledged Palladians, but they're not normally make themselves known. I mean, they can be seen physically. Usually but nobody will really know the difference. So,
How much more advanced are you guys than us here on Earth?
about 1,000 years or more.
What is your lifespan?
About 400 or 500 years, but realize we're in a light body. So we live to, yes, around 30, 40 years old in your time.
That's not very long.
But we accomplish a lot between that time, though.
Okay, so when you are here, are you constantly working or are you constantly, just observing?
Well, some observe they're usually at a lighter frequency because they're more distant from your Earth. Those that are ground crew that are here, yes, they're more combat type of beings, meaning they deal with a lot more negativity, but they're used to it also, but they have more of a stronger exterior. But their lifespans can be shorter because of the negativity that's here.
Okay, how do you reproduce?
Same as you, same lighter. But there are also higher dimensional Palladians where it's energy, where the beings come through light. That's very high vibration, though.
Is there a god or some sort of higher source that we all kind of come from?
Well, yeah, every alien culture has their own type of source that they connect to. So, yeah, some do worship, some insectoids worship the essence. They have different names for it. But yes, they know they come from a higher source being. You just kind of know when you incarnate.
So the spirit lives on. Have
Yes.
you ever incarnated as a human?
Yes. Back in your 1950s. Yes. And much of our collective around the 60s.
And how long were you here for?
For me, 10 years. It wasn't that long.
Oh, wow. And where did you live?
New Mexico.
Do you remember how you passed?
No, but a lot of us do incarnate into places like military, installations. Usually, at least those of us that are assisting your planet. So we
What
keep
kind
an eye
of-
on.
I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but what kind of craft do you use to get here?
Normally a saucer, like you see, but usually it's a mothership. But saucers are usually the easiest to obtain. But yeah, there's different forms, but we'll just use the saucer as the easiest without going into details of everything.
And when you say mothership, how big is a mothership?
It can be as long as New York City or longer, or the state of New York. They can always be longer.
That is very big. And how many Pleiadians can fit on a ship that size?
Thousands, like 20,000 at least, probably more, but it doesn't have to be a lot to do what we're doing. It could probably be 1 million if we wanted to.
So the fact that you have reincarnated as a Pleiadian, you were a former human, how many reincarnations or incarnations have you had?
On this planet or other places or
Everywhere.
everywhere? Oh, trillions of incarnations everywhere. Most of mine has been Palladian, though. But I've incarnated as insectoid beings. Yeah, maybe let's do the human, though, because of what's going on with the human race here on your planet.
Do you have a choice on where you want to go next?
Yes.
So what is your turnaround time in reincarnation?
Oh, usually it can be minutes. after we leave. It can be hours, depending. It doesn't mean we're incarnated as a Pleiadian again, but usually it's pretty quick, wherever you choose, or a different star system. But a lot of us reincarnate as a Pleiadian due to our knowledge of what's going on here currently.
Now, when you reincarnate, do you come back to this same timeline, or do you end up at a different timeline?
Usually it's a different timeline altogether. Normally it's the future, or it can be in the past, but usually it's the future.
How many different timelines are there?
Millions, but there are like 7 or 8 main timelines that we focus on.
So would there be a timeline where you are still incarnated here as a human?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. There's 2 of them.
Explain that to me, that there's 2 of them.
Just 2 different parallel timelines that I'm still connected to. You can say I'm still learning from it. So it can go very slow. So, yeah, it's a little bit complicated there, but it's like, because I'm connected to the energies of the earth, it helps me go do time travel. So I connect to an old version of myself. so I feel the vibration.
Are you allowed to go visit yourself?
Yes, it won't, but usually, yeah, it's in another dimension, but yes. Yeah.
Wow.
It's complicated. To us, it's no big deal.
What's it like viewing yourself on a different timeline?
We learn something new every day. We connect to that. So we feel the vibrations. It helps us understand your modern timeline. So if you go into the past, because in the past, like, everything's more still. It's like it's already been done, technically. Of course, everything is linear, so everything's happening at once, but technically you can still go back in the past because it's easier to see. Because when you're in a modern timeline, sometimes you can't always see everything because there's a lot of minds working, but you go in the past, it's easier to look.
Eugene would like to know, is there an alien after death resurrection?
Yes, there can be.
And how does that work?
Well, it happens very rarely, but yes, like as you call it, a deity or someone that was very dear to everyone, and they might have died for circumstances, and we found a way to bring them back, or they brought themselves back, whatever it might be. There are some that are going to have that they're there for that experience. You can say it's rare, and not all Pleiadian worlds are like that, though, but some do exist with that. Yeah.
Have you guys brought any creatures here to this planet that have stayed, like whether it's an animal or a mammal or something along those lines?
You say some dinosaurs were involved with our connection with the reptilians that connect to your past but help your modern day world. So think of like the mindset of a reptilian being, like if it has a calm, positive demeanor, and it's just eating leaves or something like that. That energy connects to your vibration of your future Earth. So.
All right. One more question for you before we have to let you go, and we have to go to a break here. For you, what is your goal or message to humanity?
That you will follow your timeline that is necessary. It's not to be a victim, but to know that you've lived your life the best of your ability. We believe majority of humans are there to do so. So realize you are protected, but many humans are hard on themselves. And to just bring more enlightenment. And yes, the spirit energy is a little bit difficult for people to believe, but we're not here to make you believe anything. It's up to you to connect to our vibrations. But we are here to assist them.
Wonderful. We'll let you get back to Ivan, and we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Ivan Teller is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are channeling extraterrestrial beings here on Spaced Out Radio through channeler Ivan Teller. We're going to continue on as we have Ivan for another hour here on Spaced Out Radio. Enjoy it while you can. This show is a lot of fun. We'll be back with hour number 2 next. Fantastic.
All right. Awesome.
How you feeling?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, it was different. So yeah, good vibrations. Yeah.
We're putting a bunch of good vibes into you tonight, man.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, usually collectives come through every once in a while. One might come in as and say who they are, but who knows? It's an audience, so like collectives, they can connect to each other. It's like they talk through each other to talk through one, so they can just be quick. Something like that.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, we'll continue the channeling when we return, if you're okay with that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
So much fun.
Yeah, welcome. Certainly is different, that's for sure. Yeah, channeling can get a little bit preachy for some. I mean, some beings are like they're telling the humans, you'll get there, you'll get to our level one day. It's like, come on. I don't know what that's about. Because a lot of them can't handle what we go through. So yeah.
You know what? I could honestly say, man, that my neck is killing me for you. I am totally feeling you.
Oh, you feel it's gone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, when you do this stuff, yeah, because it comes with baggage, you can say, because you're bringing this stuff in, and sometimes I know people want to go like super deep, but knowledge can have its price. How like too much, and it can cause you a lot of difficulties. So sometimes the less you know, the better. It's like here's some healing energy. Have a nice day. It's like, keep it simple.
I hear you there, man. I hear you there. Donnie, I apologize if I missed your question, man. Just retype it and I'll make sure I get it in there.
Yeah, but a lot of aliens can't handle what we're going through. That's why we're here.
Oh, yeah.
We're the superstars.
Donnie would like to know the Law of One, the Seth material, Edgar Casey. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's up to the individual to what is drawing you. I don't go too much into Seth or the Law of One because I try to keep more, original energies, original connections. But yeah, there's good stuff with all of them, of course. But yeah, for your own connections, just whatever what are you attracted to?
Right.
You don't have to read the whole thing. Like Edgar Casey, there might be something in there that's talking to you that you can relate to. So that's a big, Seth, I think I channeled Seth also. So some people don't believe you can channel. They say, "Oh, Seth, nobody can channel Seth." It's like, I don't know about that. That's a little bit. I mean, whatever. It might be different, but you can still channel those beings. Yeah.
Are there certain beings that will only channel to certain people?
I think so, but if you feel like, if you want to channel that being, I believe you can, like Bashar. I haven't gone into Bashar. I've had channeled Bashar for people privately, like a collective, but sometimes they don't want to be channeled. There are beings that don't want to be channeled by other people. I've had experience. I don't normally try for that, but yeah, it can happen though. Like you can connect to a part of their vibration or something like that. Yeah, they can get choosy.
Let's see here. We got about just over a minute here. SJ, what's going on? Where have you been hiding?
One thing for sure, that the truth will find its way through no matter what. So,
Parfait. All right, we got just over a minute. Thank you to Donnie, Andrew, and Sir Whiskers for the awesome super chats tonight. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. So thank you so much, guys. And hello to Johnny Music, the man with the tightest beard and mustache going on the podcast level right now. And if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. If you're new, we are here 7 days a week for your listening entertainment. This weekend, we got Lynn Wallington coming on in, and her guests will be this weekend. Let me tell you here. Hold on. I got it. It will be Soraya Azketh tomorrow and Ken Goodsword on Sunday. UFOs, all sorts of good stuff coming on up. Here we go, everyone. Hour 2 next.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Here we go with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you so much for tuning us in. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Langur. Langur is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We're channeling aliens tonight. Intuitive, psychic channeler Ivan Teller is with us, and we're having so much fun. If you missed the first hour, you're definitely going to want to check out the replay on the podcast or on YouTube. Ivan, welcome back.
oh, thank you. I'm glad to be
How
here.
you feeling after that channeling session?
Yeah, it can be. It's good. It can give you energy also. So it all depends on what's going on out there in the chat and everything, but it's all good.
All right. Evan would like to know, does any government have mind reading or time travel technology right now that you know of?
I believe so, yeah. I connected to Project Montauk, and you can't get some. That's true. You asked about like what's the negative. I've got Project Montauk. I got an energy attack from that a year ago. So yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah, my just that's part of like Stranger Things. You know, it has some. I forget the details of it, but where your mind telekinesis abilities, you can use your mind to do things. And like one of my cats started acting all crazy after the channeling. I felt like there was a being in the room. I'll go into full more details on that, but yeah. Oh yeah, but believe it. Yep, they do remote viewing. There's a strong remote viewing energy. Not to put paranoia out there, but they do all those things. No doubt about it. They do have remote viewers for sure.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever picked them up watching you?
Yeah, in the past, I haven't really. I know they're around. I know reptilians are around me. Like when you sneeze out of nowhere, it's like and you're thinking about something, or usually something's around. So yeah, but yeah, governments and all that stuff, definitely. I'm not sure how.
Awesome. I have a lot of requests to have the felines come through.
Interesting. I was feeling that. That's interesting. That's different. I wasn't expecting that.
We've never channeled felines on this show before. Are we going to be able to understand the meow, 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 meow?
Yeah, they're not going to do that. Yeah. Interesting. I was thinking the same thing before you said it. that's not
Awesome.
because I have a cat here. That's different.
So how do you tune in for them?
Well, I just feel them around. I just feel their presence here. Yeah, just they have something to say. So
do they have something to say?
Oh yeah,
we can bring them on if you want.
Yeah, we can bring them in. Yeah, they'll answer your questions too. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to talk to humanoid felines right now, people.
Okay. All right. Blessings. Greetings to you. We are the felines. I am a tiger being. You can call me Montauk. Greetings to you. Now realize we use names that we've heard. We don't use our real alien names, and no reason for that. But yes, we do protect the Earth. We don't normally say what we don't normally make a presence because it's a human ordeal. But we are behind the scenes. We're like the elders, And besides that, Palladian beings always want to listen to us. Greetings if you have a question.
Greetings to you. And could you please tell us where you are from in our universe?
Oh, I am a Weiran feline being.
And would we recognize you if you were here?
Yes, a very beautiful looking feline being, tall, usually 7-8 feet tall. We don't have the problems of your world. We do have difficulties. We have learned to keep ourselves out of trouble. We understand manipulations. We've been through what your world's been through. Trust us, we've been through a lot of it. A lot of our worlds did not survive what your world's going through right now.
So what brings you to Earth right now?
Because it's unique for us to connect to you. That's why we're here now. But we do a lot of rituals to heal the human spirit. So even some of your religions have some of our energies to basically, but to connect more in a positive way, basically for healing purposes, to get through the hardships. So some of our vibrations has been remembered here. There are feline beings that have caused difficulties here during your Egyptian times, but some of them did enjoy being worshipped. And they're still here, of course.
There's a question from one of our listeners who is coming in. Donnie is asking you, what is one thing you don't understand about humans?
One thing? I think there'd be a lot of things. Obsessed with material possessions. It's like the possessions own the person. It's reliance on these possessions. Now, understand the technology, the phone. Now, some are afraid of it, but it is a communication to others. Until you learn telepathy, it is a communication device. So we understand that. And there might be some obsession with it. But material possessions, some lose themselves with it, like with their clothes. It's like they become their clothes and they kind of don't want to develop themselves. It's like, here, I'll put on all these nice clothes so nobody can see me. That happens a lot.
Oh, goodness. Are you a being that is here to help protect the planet? Are you here to study? Are you here to make sure that every cat has a home? What brings you here?
To keep the world from destroying itself. We can't interfere too much. We have to let humans, like what's happening with the war. For our species, we step back. And as you hear, some aliens want to step forward. But for us, it's like humans need to learn these lessons. We have to. As much as we want to help, we feel it's best to just let humans fall down. And then we'll be happy to help you get back up if you even want to be healed. Many don't want to be healed. So, but to heal the chaos, some humans don't want to see the beings causing chaos here. So that's why we are here, is to help you, humanity. Yes, realize many aren't wanting to know, but for those that want to know, we are here to help with that.
Why are most alien beings watching from the outside when everything is so dangerous and conflicting down here?
Well, many are actually working within your Earth. Either are feline beings that are working with the Earth also. Literally in it, like around the core of the planet, to keep the core from the planet from imploding due to all the negativity here. But there is a lot of feline frequencies here, but many alien beings are here. They just don't make themselves known. Well, because once an alien starts showing itself, it's like, oh wait, we'll just go to that being for help all the time. Help us. We'll worship you to get us out of this situation. So that's another reason why they don't show themselves.
Is there a lesson that we need to learn on our own?
There's many lessons of self-reliance. Yes, many of you are going more spiritual, understanding that you're not alone here. Obviously, many here are not accepting that. But just the corruption alone on your planet, instead of being angry at it, the more that you understand it, because many don't want to understand it. They want to be angry instead. If you remove that anger, just want to heal it. Healing the darkness here. So many aren't wanting to do this. Some are going through a victim mentality. It's complicated. But we are here for that. We're here to help you if you want to be helped. But we work behind the scenes on that. Because it's like you help a kid walk. Not that we look at humans as children, but it's like you want the child to walk on their own. Not that we're seeing you as children at all, far from it.
Donnie is asking about black holes. What is up with them? What are they about?
Yeah, they're connecting to other dimensions, of course, other universes, other parallel realities. There's actually other versions of Earth in those black holes. So usually, a ship from your dimension would probably just get swallowed up and destroyed, most likely. It might end up in another dimension, possibly. It all depends on the frequency. Black holes are kind of like trickster energies, you could say. Most of us know how to handle it. We do monitor black holes to even help beings from not getting involved with it, because not everyone knows about them. It's like going into the Twilight Zone, you can say.
All right. Are you reincarnated beings as well?
Yes. More during ancient times.
Have you ever incarnated on Earth?
Yes, as a Mohican. Connected to the Indians, basically American connected to your Indians, that understands your Indians in America, actually, during your 1700s.
That's your last time here?
Yes.
Jeremy would like.
We are
Jeremy.
Wall Street. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Jeremy would like to know how many people need to die on this planet before all of you extraterrestrials step in and help humanity.
That's a strange question. Technically, nobody has to die. They just have to open up their minds to us. The government energies are not helping. If you removed a lot of the government manipulation, we would be right with you right now, physically. That would be a strange world, but it would be. But they're mostly government energies are keeping us out. They'll literally fight us to keep us invisible.
Big J would like to know, what about androids and soulless clone copies? Have you had to deal with them?
Of course, but not all of them are soulless. They do have a consciousness of some kind. So you're dealing, well, if you want to see a soulless energy, just look at some of the members of your government. You've seen that. They have a soul, but it's a directed soul, meaning it has an agenda connected to it. So yes, it's not an easy, yes, your world has a lot of that, as you can tell.
Amber would like to know, do extraterrestrials know which of us are spiritually awakened?
Yes and no. We don't always know everything about you. Sometimes you have to get our attention, because we can tell certain places like countries, we can feel the vibrations, but we don't always know everything about you because you have an energy field around you have a protection. But yeah, we usually have an idea that you'll be spiritually aware. We can pick up from your aura, what kind of energy you have around you.
All right, let's go back to Donnie here. What about Jesus? What's the deal with this guy?
He's a savior for others. But some people don't care for his vibration. It's a mixed bag there. Yes, there's many multi-dimensional realities connected to Jesus. So yes, he was here, but others say he was not because they're connected to realities where he wasn't. So you connect to the version of Jesus that works for you. Obviously, the church is using him against his will, from what I can see.
Against his will. That's very interesting. How much influence did you have as a species during Egyptian times?
Much. Now there are a great deal, basically, for spiritual awakeness, to remember the spirit. That's why the cats were loved. Of course, some cat beings took advantage of humans, and yes, part of the Catholic Church, became controlling over humans. So some felines abused it. So there is kind of a cat and mouse war here. They're going through their own growth. Yes.
Okay. Nicole would like to know, do you like humans practicing heist or CE5? Is it a good path forward?
Yeah, it seems to be fine. Depends on the individual. It seems to be fine. It's not for everybody, of course, but it seems to be decent energies. Yeah.
Why can some people see you and others cannot?
Some are psychic. That's part of their path, their mission. So it is a distraction, though. I mean, they see us, but it can become overwhelming. But some are healers, and it's some that can't live without us. When you can't see us, that means you're here to focus on the physical.
Pinzer Flackton would like to know, does Bast actually exist?
Yes. That's all I have to say on that.
What about Atlantis?
Oh, definitely. Atlantis is still around you. It has not left. It's just changed its form.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning it's part of your government, it's part of your architecture, your cathedrals. It has not vanished completely.
Where is it located?
Well, it's within the beings themselves. Like the cathedrals, how they've been built. Yes, there's a Tartarian energy, but a lot of that's Atlantean energy also, Atlantean technology. So
Did Atlantis sink into the water, or was it built on a rocket ship where it was able to launch into space?
No, it went into the sea. But a lot of the Atlanteans did survive. And they become more part of secret societies and became more hidden. But not all Atlanteans are like that. Some did stay among you to help.
D Ocean would like to know, what do you eat on Lyra?
Usually it's vegetables, it's greenery, like you do, like a vegetarian, or a vegan. But a lot of us don't eat at all. It depends on the vibration you're at. We don't eat, we don't have to eat. We're at a higher frequency. But if we need energy, usually some kind of food. But it's very little, though.
What about water?
Energy. But yes, there is purified water that we drink from. Yeah.
Have you ever taken a species from this planet and given it new life on Lyra?
Well, I haven't personally, but some beings have, yes. So they take the soul and take it to another place, yes. Against their will, some have, yeah. But some have been willing to go. it depends. But if it's a physical being, that does happen. But usually the Greys are the ones doing that.
What is the reasoning behind so many people vanishing without a trace on this planet annually?
That's a complicated one. Some of them are going to other planets, yes, as slave races, toward the vibration of your planet. So, but some are part of your inner Earth, like a secret society within your planet underground. There's some of that, but a lot of them are off planet. Will most likely never be found.
Gary would like to know, are there any breakaway civilizations currently here on Earth?
Such as Alien, you're speaking of, or yes, but secret, of course.
It's the Dutch, isn't it? Be honest. It's the Dutch.
We can't go into full details. But
yeah, I knew there was a reason why I didn't like the Dutch. Yeah. I'm just saying. Donnie would like to know, what surprises you most about humans?
The kindness. Humans are, especially like in time now, it does bring out the good. Many do settle their differences and want to do good, especially when they see an act of war. So it does bring out, you say the tribal side, but the good side. Some need this type of reset to find what is most important. They get lost in the clutter, as you all know.
We have 2 minutes left here. Anne would like to know, in one of your incarnations, did you meet Queen Hatshepsut?
Yes, but on another planet, though. Yes. Still learning from her past, her mistakes. But a lot of these queens do continue on other realities, but nothing like they have been on this planet. I mean, it's just, they're queens there, but not to that magnitude. But they are still, they're still growing like everyone else, but many do like their leadership.
Caliperful would like to know, what are the UFOs doing off the Baja coast every day?
Shifting the vibrations there. There is a lot of portals that open up. A lot of it's military government that they're trying to heal, actually.
Big J would like to know, have you ever heard of Project Serpo?
Of course, yes. We don't really agree with it that much. It doesn't have the best vibrations around it. It doesn't have the best intentions, as some of you might know.
Jan wants to know, what will the future hold?
Well, for some, it's going to be chaos because that's what they need for their experience. For some of you, it's peace, harmony, and connecting more to yourself and more discovering your love for yourself, your inner love. But some can only learn through chaos.
All right. Amber would like to know, do ETs connect with other beings like Bigfoot, fairies, or mermaids?
Yes, all the time. I mean, we see a fairy every now and then, but yes, we do. Some beings love Bigfoot. That's all they connect to. Like some feline beings, that's all they want to do is talk to Bigfoot. And some of us just see the fae. It all depends on what's going on in your planet. Usually we connect to just the feline beings or the Pleiadians, but usually we connect to our own race. But every once in a while, we'll connect to a mermaid being, depending on what's going on. Like they'll talk to us, or we will see them and say hello.
Wow. I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we do have to go to break here and pay some bills here on Spaced Out Radio and take a little break so we can catch our breath. And we're very, very appreciative of you coming on in here. Ivan Teller is channeling beings from a feline race right now. Yeah, it's happening. It is going on. We are channeling all night long here on Spaced Out Radio. Well, at least for another 30 odd minutes. What a great show this has been so far. Keep your questions coming, audience. We'll channel one more time before we have to say goodnight to Ivan Teller. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this.
That was different.
That was, man.
It's cool. It's interesting. I was feeling the feline energies before it was mentioned here. That's funny.
Whoever you want to bring in next, you can bring them on in.
Okay. I do feel the Zetas.
Well, let's bring them on in when we come back.
Sure. It'll be fun. Hopefully get some jokes in, get some comedy hour with the aliens.
Sure. Hi, One Life Man. Welcome to SOR chat. Who else has joined us here? That's it. Philo Fire, good to see you. Brazel Hav, you reversed headstock kind of guy. Thank you, Kira, for the awesome super chat. Along with Donnie with 4. Jeremy, little Gary Dutchman with his very American beard. Sir Whiskers and Andrew, very much appreciated. Yeah, the Zetas get down like that, Donnie. The Zetas get down like that. We're going to bring it. We are going to bring it. So excited. My neck is killing me. Thank you.
Wow. Damn. Jeez.
Anybody feels like, Kira, if you're feeling like sending me some Reiki right now, I would totally take some on my neck. Hi, Cyan.
I wonder what that's about.
Vanner Smith, good to see you.
Maybe the inner Zeta is trying to come through.
Who knows? Who knows? Thank you, Big J, for that awesome super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Oh, we just had some clicking audio there. Gorgeous Pam Smith, welcome back. Oh, don't worry about it, Star Mountain. It's all good. All good. You're here now. That's all that matters. All right, we got just over a minute here.
Yeah, but some people are trying to wonder what a feline person looks like. Look at some of the women here that have like real puffy hair. Some of them have they look like cat people. You have big hair, usually they're a cat person. Usually it's a blonde. Normally. That's one way to get some idea of that.
All right, about 15 seconds here. Hi, Kafunia. How are you? We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate you tuning us on in. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We continue on tonight with our good friend Ivan Teller. He is a channeler, he is an intuitive, and we've been channeling extraterrestrials all night long so far. Do you believe it? I do. Why not? Why wouldn't aliens communicate with us? We're good people around here. Ivan, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
You're going to bring in the Zetas now.
Sure. Yeah, I feel the Zetas around. It's kind of a controversial group, but that's okay. Bring in the positive energies from them. So, all right. So, all right, blessings. Greetings. We are the Zetas. This is J-Rod. Blessings to you all. Yes, we are different than you, but yes, we don't have the emotional state, but we do have the intellectual, the hive mind of trying, keep us out of trouble. We can say, of course, we find our ways of getting ourselves into other difficulties. We're known to be hackers, you can say mental hackers. So we can't always protect ourselves completely as your world. So our problems are different than yours, but we are very much connected to your species of your DNA. We do feel a lot from your race of we're still understanding ourselves through you. So yes.
Why are the Greys taking so many people?
Some of them are like fishing. Wow, that's a nice looking one. What does that one have? What does that human have? So they don't think it as wrong. So it's just, and they do throw humans back usually. Normally. Some do keep them, but not very often.
Are there full-on human beings native to other planets in our galaxy?
Yes, there's several. I can say 3 planets. Some of them are at Alpha Centauri.
What about in our solar system here?
If there are, I am not one to say.
Would you know if we had humans already on the moon or on Mars?
Yes. Yes to all of that, yes. There's humans on all your planets in some form. Either they're on ship. Yes. They're everywhere. But you would never know that. You're physically. They have ways of keeping it hidden, of course.
Are they keeping it hidden because of their connections to other beings?
Yes. Well, like your Earth governments don't want you to know what they're up to. So,
how do we get there?
Well, that's going to be a difficult one because they feel like they're so advanced more than the human race. There's always going to be a step ahead. So you will get there through evolution. You'll start to realize it over time, but not in your lifetime, though, from what we see. Because you're being kept back into the past. Meaning your technologies, and as you know, your own spiritual connections are kept primitive. I mean, some of you are advancing, yes, but most of the human race isn't advancing. Done by design.
How many different forms of grays are there?
Hundreds, thousands. There's always a new gray somewhere. There's a leopard gray. There's a dolphin gray. All kinds.
Okay, which are the ones taking the people and doing all the scientific tests? Because there's a lot of people upset that their butts got probed.
Those are more government government Project Montauk, the My Lab grays. Some of those are humans doing those things, but not all. Usually it is a gray. Usually those grays have been taken over. Similar to like what happened with the Nazis. Yeah. Now they've been around throughout history, but it's gotten worse recently.
Pinzer is asking, I've heard of a race called the Turians. Are they real?
Yes. They're not. I believe they're a Nordic race. I do see some dolphin energy connected to them, but yes. That's your specific race, though. Meaning there's not that many of them here.
Do we all, as humans, have a specific race?
Yeah, a lot of you have race. I mean, a lot of you are part of the same group, but there are certain people that have just races that no one's ever heard of. And for her to tap into that's something personal. It's a good sign, though. It's a good connection there for her.
Does your group have the formula for clean, abundant energy, anti-gravity, clean fuel sources, or any medical tech advancements?
Yes, but it's not allowed to be public currently because it's too advanced. But those that are working on it can't seem to get it to work properly for the masses. Of course, that's what they would say. But yes, all of that's here, but they're only going to allow certain parts of it. They don't want you to advance too soon.
Donnie would like to know, so for you guys, what do you not understand about humans?
Many things. The divide, why humans are so divided from each other. Humans have like if you go into a grocery store, humans are not saying hi to everybody. How's it going? It's difficult. It's almost like a tribal, like you connect to your own tribe, to your families, and it's difficult to connect outside that family. So that's hard. When humans become more friendly with each other, that's when your earth changes for the better.
All right. Michael wants to know, so you hacked my brain in 2019 and 2020?
Not me personally, but there probably was a Zeta that did that, yes. I think I was interested in how you thought. You have an interesting brain pattern, but it was not me personally, though.
Donnie again would like to know, where does our moon come from?
Mars. There's a lot of Martian energy there. We can say it passed through Mars to get to your planet. Let's put it that way.
Kim would like to know, will our planet be taken over by a new world order?
I think it's already happening now. A version of it is happening now. What happened in Germany is still going on currently, but not to put fear out there, though.
D Ocean would like to know, how do you tell which grays are synthetic?
It's what you feel from them. Obviously, you don't see many of them. Of course, even synthetic ones still have a consciousness. It might not be a lot of a very complicated consciousness, but it still has a consciousness. So it's what your intuition is telling you the first thing you see it.
Follow-up question from D. Are the Orans active on Earth right now?
Yes. But not a lot, but yes. Just there's very few of them here, but yes. They're mostly off planet from what I can see.
Sir Whiskers wants to know, are we heading towards becoming spiritual chemical beings rather than physical ones?
There's always going to be a half of that. Yes, more humans become more spiritual, but there'll still be many that are very physical here. But more of the spiritual energies will open up. It's happening now. It just takes time.
Nicola would like to know, how long does it take you to travel here, and what type of powder do you use?
I don't know what the powder means. I'm understanding that, but a couple
A
minutes.
nice towel.
Oh, how we smell? I smell like a new car. Not really. I can smell pretty bad, actually.
Sandra,
I'm not tired.
go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Sandra would like to know, is there other Earth-type planets out there?
Of course, yes, many. They're keeping kept from your society. Your NASA has discovered many. It is a bizarre experience seeing other humans on other planets. They keep it quiet, of course.
Diane would like to know, can you describe how a synthetic quantum environment works?
It's always live. It's similar to your Earth, but it's always mechanical, of course. It's always building and creating, even if it's not creating like you have, but it's always wanting to do something new. But it does have a lot of limitations to it. It's kind of like a factory, you can say. It is cold, though. Very cold.
A follow-up, well, then you must be Canadian, because we can handle that. Cyan would like to know, why do the Greys smell bad?
It all depends on the gray. I mean, it's just our DNA connected to your Earth. It's just we're just different. I mean, it shows you how human we are. Humans smell too, so it depends on where we've been. Space travel, we don't shower much. That has a lot to do with it.
Joe would like to know, is it okay to fight or kill aliens that take us against our will?
That's up to you individually, but there is a karmic tie there if you do kill an alien. But it's between you and that alien. You don't have to kill an alien if you don't want to.
Amber wants to know, how many continents are there actually on Earth?
I don't know if I have the answer for that. More than what you have right now, but they're hidden, of course.
Excalibur is asking, is there a way for humans to find portals or spots where aliens cross over from other universes?
Well, the easier ones are Sedona and the Bermuda Triangle. But portals can be in your backyard, depending on where you live. You can feel the vibration. And it just depends on how spiritual you are. You can't pick up it's how connected you are. You can't pick up portals everywhere, actually. They're usually around mountains and the woods.
Star Mountain would like to know, what percentage of our world population are legit humans versus non-human entities?
Oh, it's like, yeah, humans are 90%, 95%. The rest are alien.
Jesse would like to know, what ET is coming through portals to show humans visions?
All kinds. Usually it's the Palladians or the Arcturians, but it's all kinds of different. Even insectoid beings do that sometimes. I would say all of them do that.
I love this question from Dark Magician. What's the iPhone 1000 going to look like? Is it zoom like a vacuum so fast?
Yes, something like that. That's a difficult one to answer. But yes, something like that.
Jesse would like to know, where do people go that disappear in the Bermuda Triangle?
Usually end up on a ship. Normally an alien ship. Now, they don't always remember, though. Those memories usually get wiped. And they get put back into your reality somewhere, somehow. So.
Is it like when you take someone, and let's say you take someone for 50 human years, do they come back as they have aged, or do they come back as a child or whatever age they left at?
Well, it all depends on, some can be taken for 50 years and brought back and will get older. Maybe not 50. They can have some age manipulation there so they don't look so old. But they can be gone for like a couple minutes, but they're actually gone for 50 years. It all depends. Or they have been gone for 50 years and they disappear out of nowhere again. It all depends. If they're gone for 50 years, usually they're doing something on a ship. Usually doing something with somebody. Doesn't mean necessarily that they're a slave.
Sir Whiskers would like to know, what is the meaning of life?
It's the meaning that you bring to it. It's your journey, so it's what you bring. It's how you would define it. I believe many of you, just how you are as a person, how you affect others, and that's really important.
Sandra would like to know, what is your favorite planet favorite country on Earth to visit?
Italy, especially where they're always eating food. It's always fun to watch humans eating food. It's like it's spent a lot of time with that. It's humorous.
Okay. Well, we'll take that as your word there. Let's move on here, as Carrie has a question. What is the RH negative blood link from humans?
That's a reptilian energy. That is an elite energy. It can heighten your abilities, but also can cause you some difficulties at the same time.
D. Swagger, who really created humans and how long ago?
Humans are created by humans, meaning that the embryo has always been here. Just the aliens, they worked on it. They enhanced it or de-enhanced it. But humans have always been here. It's always been a mystery where humans came from. They just were always here from our records. So God, you could say.
Okay. Let's move on. Linux wants to know, what percentage of humans on this planet at this time have souls?
90%, 92%. Something around those lines.
Okay. Jesse would like to know, what happens to the missing people that just vanished?
Usually they take it to another planet. Like Mars or some world that they don't want to mention. Yeah, kind of like you can say a black planet, like a black site planet. So it all depends on the DNA of the person.
Joe would like to know, which is closer to Earth, Zeta Reticuli or Arcturus?
I feel Zeta Reticuli, at least from our perspective.
Amber would like to know, how many people have been chipped by ETs?
You can say like half or more than half. There's been a lot.
What is the purpose of the chip?
Well, some of it's just for information, and some is just control. It's different. Some of us are just it's an agreement normally. No, not everybody would agree with that though, but some of it's my lab connected, which is more complicated.
Donnie would like to know, were the ancient gods real?
Yes. All of them. The extraterrestrials. Or more advanced humans, however you want to, from your planet.
Hybrids?
Yes.
Magical?
Yes.
Carlito would like to know, can I please know? I always felt like I have an alien buddy watching over me or outside my window. Will I ever meet him face to face?
Probably to your dreams, but yes. And so, probably more non-physical. You never know. It might be a sort of physical connection, but yeah, that being is protecting you from what I can see. Felt like a Nordic being, at least from my perspective.
Wayland would like to know, how can we improve our health on Earth?
Get rid of the chemicals. Chemicals, there are good chemicals here, but the toxic ones have to be removed. Of course, there's many. A lot of it's in the food, unfortunately. Mostly in America.
Gary would like to know, if our perceptions can be altered, is it only an individual or can it be done by large groups?
Oh, large groups, definitely. But it can be done both ways. Large groups are easier because they're easier to control. It's like if everybody sees it, then they can believe it. That's politicians do it all the time.
Jessica wants to know, is O positive blood an ET bloodline?
Yes, but that's more of a positive energy. Yeah. Definitely.
I got O positive.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Good question, Jesse. Good question. Obi Flett would like to ask, what are the humans' purpose with no souls?
They're connected to this reality. They're here. They're like robots here to do this. The commands of the earth and its timeline. To follow political rallies, to follow the narrative, the agendas.
Okay. Star Mountain would like to know, how do you evaluate and qualify the human you wish to channel through? Do you have their permission?
Yes, usually ask us. Yes, it's a mutual connection usually. But there's always an alien that wants to be channeled by anybody.
Jenny wants to know, how much farther is the government advanced from its citizens?
Well, 50, I would say more of 100 years advanced. The secret government, of course, not the public version. The rumors are true.
One of our favorite veterans who listens to this show, Black Dragon, wants to know, have you ever met a dragon?
Yes, many of them. Some of them are friendly. Some of them don't want to be bothered. They just want to sleep all day. Like a big cat.
Excalipurple asks, what is the cause of Havana syndrome?
Some of that is abduction energies, being abducted by aliens. Some of it. Some of it's an astral attack. It's different for everyone.
Amber would like to know, what about AB plus blood?
That is alien. It's half alien. It's mostly human. There's some alien DNA. It's like 50% alien DNA.
Jesse wants to know, how can I get my ET to visit me again?
That's going to be, because you had a connection before. That was just to get you hooked in to meditate. Patients, they only show up if they feel like they need to nudge you into a certain direction, like get your attention. So, but they feel like you're on your track. So when they feel like you're off track, then they'll move in.
Final question from Jesse. What ET is really tall? Long legs, long fingers, long body.
Well, some of those are tall grays, but also tall blonde Nordic beings and also tall whites. So, but a gray can easily fit that description. Usually they're not very humorous. The smaller grays are usually the humorous ones.
Sandra wants to know, are you more interested in watching people with psychic abilities?
All people, actually. People without the psychic abilities are less likely to tap into to know that we're around, so they're less afraid of us. Some people with psychic abilities can see us, think we're ghosts, think we're creatures. They're not sure what to think.
Finally, final question from Donnie. So what's the difference between a demon and a hostile alien?
Well, a hostile alien just comes from another planet. And some of them can be possessed by demonic beings. A demonic being is just a being that was created from your earth. Basically, a soul that lost its light and is connected to the lower dimensions. So it is a soul that used to be human at one time. Some of them have been astral beings, but they're just spirit beings from the lower realms. But aliens can be, they can get abducted also by demonic beings.
Awesome. Thank you so much from the Zetas. And we say thank you to Ivan Teller coming on in, channeling extraterrestrial species for us tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Ivan, quickly, what's your channel on YouTube?
Ivan Teller. Just search Ivan Teller. And of course, you go to ivanteller.com.
Perfect. See you in hour number 3, everyone. Dude, this was so much fun tonight. So much fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. So, yeah.
Me too, man.
All right.
We will do it again.
I'll be here. Yeah. Happy. Yeah. Thank you for having me on. That's great. Yeah.
Of course. We'll do it again.
Okay.
I appreciate you, man.
All
Thank
right.
you for entertaining us.
All right. No problem. All right. Take care. All right.
Take care, Ivan. Good night. Ivan Teller, everybody. I'm just going to step away for a couple of seconds. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. My dog just took the biggest piss in my basement. Just what I wanted, to clean up dog piss right after the show. Wonderful. Wonderful. So happy about that. Fedora's here. There he is. Give us a wave, John. He'll be back momentarily. No, I removed the shark. I don't play that guitar. That's my daughter's. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I played it a couple of times. Oh, man. So angry right now. So angry. All right. Let's finish off strong here. Hour 3 coming up.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate you tuning us on in from wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Langur. Langur is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read Shirky Poo's Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. It is time once again where we head off into the swamp. Our resident swamp dweller takes us on another tale of a spooky story.
Hi, Spaced Out Radio listeners. This is Swamp Dweller. It's time for your nightly dose of spookiness on the show. If you have an interesting encounter or a spooky story that you would like to share, be sure to submit them in at swampdweller.net. You can also find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/swampdwellerreads. Now, let's chill out, relax, and together, let's enter the swamp.
I was around 10 years old. It was a summer night. I was staying up especially late and beginning to get tired. I remember at one point looking out my window and becoming absolutely petrified because I saw a pair of blue glowing eyes and a black outline of a very tall creature outside. I remember being so terrified, I threw the covers over my head and body. Only after a long period of silence did I uncover my head to check the clock on my nightstand. Apparently, I'd been hiding for an hour. I glanced back at the window and saw that the creature was gone. But being a kid, I no longer felt safe in my room after that, so I decided that I would go into my parents' room to sleep. It was 3:30 a.m., and I was almost too petrified to move. I was surprised I even made it a step out of my own bed. When my foot first touched the cold wood floor, I broke into a run, quickly slamming open my parents' bedroom door and awaking them. I told my dad and stepmom about the creature that I'd seen outside, but when my dad went to check, there was nothing there, not even any tracks outside. What really terrified me about this experience was the fact that the only thing protecting me from that creature wasn't the glass in the window, because my window was open. The only protection I really had was the screen inside the window. Anyway, my parents did not believe me about this supposed alien thing that I saw. But when I double-checked outside for any traces of the thing, I found claw marks under my windowsill that I did not recognize. They hadn't been there before. Considering the thing's bulbous head and almond-shaped eyes, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I saw an extraterrestrial. There was intelligence behind those eyes. Why it was spying on me like that, I have no idea. But this might explain the strange things I saw in the sky after that night. I really hope it doesn't come back.
Okay, so first of all, a few weeks prior to my main experience, I saw something in the sky above Birmingham, England. I was sitting in my back garden having a cigarette and admiring the beauty of the full moon, when I saw something fly into view. It looked like, well, the shape of a deodorant can, to be perfectly honest. It was flying silently across the sky with pulsing red, white, and blue lights running along the bottom of it, and a bright white torch-like beam shining from the top of it. It had no wings or anything of that sort. I had no idea what to think of it, but, well, there was nothing I could do. Perhaps it would be on tomorrow's local news. It wasn't. No one else seemed to have seen it. Now, on to the main part of my story. I have no idea if these two experiences are actually related, but the former seems to have some kind of relevance, honestly. So, one night, my sister was staying over with her kids. So she had my bed and I slept on the sofa. I laid down and fell asleep listening to true encounter stories with werewolves, which are my favorite on YouTube, from a mixture of all different readers. I awoke to one of the most horrifying experiences of my life. I was paralyzed and instantly terrified. I woke with my face facing the back of the sofa and my back facing out to the rest of the living room. As I lay there paralyzed, not with fear but physically paralyzed, I could feel something going on with the back of my neck. It didn't hurt, but I could feel some sort of drilling sensation going on right on my spine. I tried to move, but I was not in control of my body, which was paralyzed but twitching all over. And all this time, I could hear a sort of buzzing, whooshing sound. Honestly, the typical sound you'd imagine a flying saucer to make. Then, all of a sudden, a sensation of calm came over me and I thought, oh, okay, it's just a reaction from the drugs I took earlier. I just have to ride it out and everything will be okay. I felt calm while trying to ride it out for a few minutes until I suddenly realized, hang on, I didn't take any drugs earlier. I don't even do drugs. The panic ensued once more. I twitched lying there in horror for a few more minutes until I suddenly regained control of my body and quickly turned around to see the back door move as if someone had just run out. There were red, white, and blue lights flashing and filling the room, and here's where I might add that my living room is on the back. We have a large back garden, and then another on the back of that. We are completely surrounded around my house. Basically, what I'm saying is we are far away from any roads, and it couldn't possibly have come from a police car or the like. Once again, the calm struck me. Oh, it's just the lights on the internet box in the corner flashing, I thought. But very quickly this time I regained my senses and realized there was no internet box. I have no idea what I was just thinking, again. It was as if someone were trying to implant imagery thoughts into my head to keep me, from freaking out or something. I don't know. I was feeling very violated, to say the least, honestly, and very frightened. My dog, a large Siberian Husky Arctic Wolf Cross, not easily frightened, was up on the armchair, where the hell he knows he was not allowed to go. He was shaking and refused to come down all night. Was it all a dream? Well, considering I didn't get back to sleep, I very much doubt it. The rest of the night I laid awake, still twitching and feeling a weird sensation of a cold shooting down my spine and nerve endings every minute. I don't know what it was. Aliens were all I could think, but the next day when I told my friends, they all had a little laugh, and then one said, well, you said you felt something messing with the back of your neck. Let's see if there are any marks. They all looked. and they all sat in silence. There were 3 small red puncture marks in the shape of a triangle right on my spine.
And we say a big thank you to Mr. Swamp Dweller once again, hanging on out, telling us something spooky. Swamped Out Radio, we call it around here. And we got to continue, though. Before we do, reminder, go to Swamp Dweller's YouTube channel, hit subscribe there if you want literally hundreds, if not thousands, of spooky stories at youtube.com/Swamp Dweller Reads. Oh, that music once again means it's time for the fedora-wearing Jon Hudson as we kick off the Unbiased UFO Report. It's always a good time with Mr. Jon here. How you doing, buddy?
Good evening, Dave. I'm doing very, very well. How about you?
I saw your beautiful little sidekick there. I did.
Yep. She's doing well. Just hanging out with me. How are you doing, Dave?
I am great, man.
Oh, good.
I am absolutely great. I had a hard day today, but you know what? I will tell you this, because I'm kind of like Superman at times, John. Okay? Because I never say what my nighttime job is at my daytime job. I try and keep them both quite separated. And I had this person, a client today, come in and basically say, I know what your nighttime job is. I listen to Spaced Out Radio on Spotify every day. And I've got my friends hooked on it, my sister hooked on it. And this is all around my community. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I didn't know. You know, like, I'm trying to hide my identity around here.
So Dave, I got to tell you, man. So it was a number of years ago that I used to, like everyone else, I kept 2 identities, online, offline. And I ended up in a job where I had to do some real public stuff. And so I really didn't have a choice in the matter. I started becoming public very quick. And what I decided to do was to just, give up that ridiculous model and just be as completely equal from both sides as I possibly could, and just embrace it, and just, try to minimize it, try to watch your T's, and I mean, it's all that kind of normal stuff you're doing anyway, right? But you gotta roll with it, because it doesn't always end badly. I mean, look at the experience you had. That was really nice,
Very nice. Very nice. So it was very cool. It was very cool.
Yeah,
I was quite
super
shocked
cool.
by that, and so if they're listening out there, thank you for coming on in. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're all good? Ready for the weekend?
Oh yes. Little actually, I think a little brain sapped from some of the interviews today. Just really just a lot to absorb.
Well, let's get to some UFO stuff, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for us tonight? Let's start off. Let me guess. No. I'm trying to channel something here now. No. All right. Mick West gets a little bit of a slap on the wrist for one of his little ramblings about UFOs.
Yeah. So this, I got to admit, I find this one interesting, and I, a lot of what's happened so far, I've thought to myself, yeah, that makes sense. This one caught me off guard, because one, Mick is, as I said before, I've talked to Mick privately. I like Mick. I think he's a smart dude. And so he puts together his arguments carefully in a way that, I mean, they aren't really easy to completely shut down, right? And essentially, the guy who actually filed the patent on these devices decided to speak up on the record and allow what he said to be published. And essentially, it's quite a little love letter, and I highly recommend everyone read it, and I will offer a link to it. But essentially, what this guy does is, in a fair number of words, he completely destroys Mick West's entire rotational horizon argument. I mean, just decimates it to a point where I don't see how anyone can come back without violating rules of logic. And
okay, what happened here?
What do you mean?
What happened to Mick West? Like who tuned him up?
Well, no. What it is that this has been Mick West's hypothesis for a long time. This is his whole thing against the not the go fast, the gimbal, right? This is his whole argument against gimbal video. This is why he considers the gimbal video to be completely debunked. Like, I mean, he considers the gimbal video to be completely useless, right? Because he feels that through his analysis of the way the camera lens rotates and the way the mirrors behave, he felt that he could prove, and he did all these simulations. And the thing is that he's using decent logic. He's not a dumb guy, right? So he was going through, and he had very limited information, is what it really came down to. And essentially, this guy just basically took his entire argument about the way it does rotation, and because basically Mick's argument was that the device will always avoid rotation because rotation is a mechanical movement, and therefore it costs energy, and so therefore it would minimize mechanical movement. Turns out it's the exact opposite. The thing is designed to be in perpetual mechanical movement. It is always moving. That's how it was designed to work. And so, I mean, essentially, like, it's just, and then you get down to the second part of it, and the guy basically mentions, he goes, oh, and by the way, the mirrors, they're only used in some very specific circumstances, and the gimbal actually isn't one of them. So basically, then on top of everything else, he went out and said, oh yeah, those mirrors that you spent all that time explaining why the mirrors were this issue and they were causing all these problems, yeah, the mirrors weren't used.
So is this a fighter pilot?
This is the guy that invented the FLIR pod.
Oh, wow.
That's what I said in the beginning. This is the guy who filed the patent on the technology. He is the inventor of this.
Has Mick West responded yet?
I have not seen any direct response. I started looking for one earlier, and I got distracted by something else. And you know, I mean, honestly, like, the thing is that where Mick's hypothesis fails in light of this new information is in a way that honestly, there's no way Mick could have predicted. All of Mick's logic was very sound. I mean, he did do a decent analysis of it. The problem is that he was lacking information. And this new information basically it nullifies. And so, you know, I mean, personally, if I was Mick, I would just be like, wow, that's freaking amazing. I had no idea. That's wow. Okay, well, next. You know, I mean, just no big deal. Just move on, right? Now you got the data. You didn't have it before, right? Life goes on, you know? But I doubt that will happen.
Mick actually has responded to this. He said, nobody refuted my theory. Lacey Cook is only able to comment on public documents like his patent. And then Merrick VR, this person you're talking about, do we want to start with the camera bumps? Your theory is disputed by every shed of FLIR video evidence out there and an active duty FA-18 weapon systems operator, or the light patterns disputed by a digital optics expert. Mick says, I don't, but unless his refutation can explain the four observables, that it's not actually refutation. It seems it's just him answering Merrick's narrow question.
That's interesting. So I personally would consider that to be a logical fallacy. I would consider that moving the goalpost because before it was a question of whether Mick's hypotheses, they're not theories, whether his hypotheses have any validity to them. And that's what this addresses, because it addresses the very fundamental nature of two of his hypotheses. And so that's kind of a weird way to approach it. Although I must admit, I think that, wow, no, I'm because the thing is that now by doing that, now what he's saying is, it's not about refuting my hypothesis. It's about you proving that that object is a UFO. That's what he's saying. He's saying you have to basically provide evidence for the four observables. I don't know why he said 4, not 5, but 4, right? Well, I mean, that basically what he's saying is you need to basically explain why this is a UFO. That's moving the goalpost. That is a logical fallacy. Unless that was something that was heavily discussed before that I'm not aware of. To me, that's moving the goalpost.
All right, let's move on to topic number 2 tonight, which is a UFO spotted by a dude in the UK, the United Kingdom, in Aberdeen.
No, actually, I think this is Aberdeen, East Coast.
Is it Aberdeen, East Coast?
I believe it is. When I first saw it, I thought it was UK. When I first saw it, I thought it was UK. But then I was reading, and I was digging into who Aberdeen is right before we went on, because in the end, my belief is it's Aberdeen out near the Aberdeen testing grounds.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. What happened here?
Well, so
an Aberdeen Shire. You don't do shires.
That's true. That has to be the UK then. That has to be.
It's got to be the UK.
It's really funny. It must have redone the text for American English, because some of the words they used weren't right for British. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
English is English, right?
Well, there's all those other versions of English, and then there's American.
Very true.
Very different things. Very different things.
By the way, it's Z, not Z. Z.
Well, that's the other thing I want to point out. A lot of those I actually far prefer. I think calling it Z makes perfect sense. Z, you know how hard it is for kids to say Z. So anyway, what's really cool about this story is that it is an incredibly classic UFO story. You have a gentleman who is seeing many things. He has taken many pictures. He has the pictures. He's willing to show you the pictures. The pictures show something odd, but inconclusive. No surprise there. In addition to this, there is a second witness, a female who, upon leaving her house, saw a black triangle and blacked out. And the next thing she knew, she was on his doorstep, and like an hour had gone by or something. So you got missing time, you got a triangle, you got a blackout, you got everything. It's like a smorgasbord, right?
Smorgasbord.
Here's the crazy part, right? Someone cared. A person actually wrote an article on this, and it got published in a local paper. To me, that's the news here. It's the fact that people actually listened to this guy and didn't just immediately go, "Oh, he's 72 and he's crazy," right? I mean, it's actually a decently written article where they're actually asking questions, and to me, it's silly, because to me, like, what this article is what all of them should have been this whole bloody time, right? You see an anomaly, you report it. Don't worry about what you think it is. Don't make any grand generalizations. Just report what you saw, right? But to me, it's a perfect example of how things are changing.
John, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We are going to continue with Jon Hudson, the fedora-wearing wonder, and the Unbiased UFO Report when we return on SOR. John's loving the woo from the UK. Missing time. Oh, I love it. Love it. We'll be back on Spaced Out Radio in the final half hour next. I love that woo, John. I love that woo.
I couldn't believe reading this story. I mean, it was like, it was like at first I was like, okay, so he's seeing things. Okay, yeah, he took pictures. Okay, yeah, I've seen these pictures before. These little pictures, and then he starts talking about this friend, and then a triangle comes into it, and I'm like, triangle? Like what? And then missing time, and I'm like, huh? Like this is like, I mean, it's like, it's like James Fox wrote it.
That's good stuff.
Surprising, very, very surprising.
I actually had to take Monday off of work. I am so tired right now that I need a sleep day.
No, it's good that you're doing that for yourself.
Oh gosh. I cleaned the house last night. After I got off the air, man, I cleaned the house. Because there was some stuff I didn't have time to do it today.
Still, after all these years, if someone says to me they stay up all night clean their house, first thing I think is, do you get into like too much like cold medication or something? Like you
no,
like flat tops, or you get into your kids Adderall or something?
I cannot stand dishes in the sink. Cannot stand dishes in the sink.
I'm with you.
Drives me nuts. And then it led to other stuff. Like my son had a shower and left his clothes on the ground, so I went and picked those up. Hockey season was done. I took his hockey bag, down from the one room, put it in the storage. Why would you say that? You should let your little girl play hockey.
They smell like some creature from another planet. Like that's why.
You don't start smelling until your teenage years.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll trust you on that one.
Yeah. And then this weekend, I got to do the website. I got to do all the thumbnails. I got to do the, what else do I have to do? I might be able to sleep tomorrow night. I'm hoping. But then I lose an hour due to the goddamn time change.
I know. I'm so happy about the time change, though. Like, I really don't feel normal when we're in the other mode. Dave, you should consider trying one of these like phase sleeping models where like you sleep for 4 hours, then get up and work for 2 hours, and then go back and sleep for 4 hours and get up and work. Like, just do that for a day. You might actually have like 4 incredibly productive hours and still be able to get 16 hours of sleep out of it.
Maybe. And I got to work late tomorrow. I work my daytime job tomorrow. And then I have to go in on Sunday to meet a client because that's the only day that I can meet him.
I love that. And if you don't come in on Saturday, don't bother coming in on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Well, tax time, right? That's okay. I will find time to sleep. Not much else. But I will find time to sleep.
But I got to say, I'm pretty excited about the fact that Ford has decided to split into 2 companies. One for electronic and one for gas.
I rode in a Ford Mach-E.
Is that Ford
Mustang? Yeah, Ford Mustang Mach-E.
What was it like?
The battery in winter up here only lasts for 200 kilometers. So that's about 160 miles. But they've got 2 size batteries. You can come with the standard battery that we can't even get to Vancouver to, or you can get the bigger battery for like $8,000 more.
Yeah, but the thing is that if I get like a full tank of gas, like I'm not making it more than 120 miles anyway.
What are you talking about?
140 maybe. I mean, it's like I'm not going to get much more than that. I mean, like to me, like to me, like 160 miles between rest stops is about normal.
Is it 160 miles between rest stops?
No, I'm just saying that's what I would often do is because I have to get gas about every 100 and every.
Yeah, you're driving an SRT8 though at that time. Hold on, John.
Yeah, that's true. 9 miles a gallon.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We continue on tonight with the fedora-wearing Jon Hudson and the Unbiased UFO Report, a UFO sighting out of Aberdeen in the UK that had missing time, multiple witnesses, and a black triangle. A plethora of woo as we speak. John, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, and the thing is that, you know, to me, this is, I don't want to seem too negative, but this is in many ways a good example of what I find very frustrating about this field. And that is that you get these very interesting cases that don't really actually bring you any more data, you know, but they're still important, right? Because I mean, you know, anecdotal data is still valuable, and certainly it's valuable from an experience point of view. But the thing is that it's not like, you know, we didn't learn anything from this event that we can then use to then go update any of our working hypotheses. Okay. Is my main point, right? And so, but it doesn't mean it's not important. And so the thing is that in the past, this person wouldn't have reported this, or they would have, and they would have been ridiculed. They would have been, they would maybe feel stupid. I mean, in really bad situations, they might have actually had ramifications for it in a small town, whatever. And here you have, you know, this 72-year-old man, you know, making this report, showing these pictures. They show his pictures in the article. And they're willing to share the account of his friend, and I'm really impressed that they took him seriously, and that they actually wrote his story as you should, because it's a story and he experienced it, whatever it is. And I think it's awesome they did. I'm really surprised, and to me I think it's a good sign.
Well, it is good reporting and everything. And, you know, the fact that they took it seriously with missing time is very cool, because there's a lot of woo in that story that would turn a lot of journalists off.
Oh, yes, by leaps and bounds, right? By leaps and bounds. But the thing is okay, yes, at the same time, he was very careful. You know, it's amazing how much quote unquote woo anyone can handle if it's caged very specifically from the point of view of the experience, right? What did you see? What did you smell? What did you feel? Like that kind of stuff, not like what you think it is or what you think it might be, right? And so, you know, so to me, it's what he does is that he says, okay, you know, she said she saw this, and then she said this happened to her, and then she said she experienced this. There was no guesswork at all. And I think that's what makes it more palatable.
All right. Finally tonight, earlier before this show, at Disclosure Tonight on YouTube, Thomas Fessler's channel, it was a massive trio of people there. Lawyer Daniel Sheehan, Sean Cahill, and Luis Elizondo.
Yes.
What'd they get into tonight?
Well, so what was really interesting was that in the very beginning, Thomas started kind of advertising this, just like in the beginning of the actual session, as something different. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, one thing I like about Thomas is that he like me, he likes to look at things at different angles. But I'm like, how different can you get with these guys, right? And it was, and the reason why it was because it was a far more adult, far more pragmatic conversation that was very specifically geared to what we can actually accomplish from a legal and government point of view. And what was really interesting was that what else ended up, there was a lot of very interesting things that got discussed through the whole thing. Sean Cahill, man, if you see this, hats off to you, man. You said some really wonderful things. It was like this. Part of it too was a little bit of a venting session in a way, for Lou and Sean, not in a really negative way, but just in a expressing their frustration with some of the things that have happened and so forth. And it a lot of it kind of became a discussion about the fact that we probably want to consider a different approach to some of this information now, because of what we've achieved so far, because of what we need to achieve next, because of the work involved. That they went so far as to say that that the entertainment era of the UFO has ended, and I don't think that's necessarily a fair thing to say, because the thing is that every nonfiction thing in the world has some fictional spin to it, right? But I will say that I think that there's some validity to what they said, in that as look if you, part of disclosure is general acceptance, right? Meaning that most people believe in something, right? For that to happen, it has to be repackaged and spun in very different ways to a lot of different people. I mean, it's an incredibly challenging, insane sort of effort that needs to accomplish. And so, to me, I think that I think that essentially what it comes down to is that what we need is we need a more I don't even know what word I want to use. Professional. I don't even know what word I want to use.
Accountability.
Yeah, maybe that, or maybe it's maybe you think of it more as being operational versus strategic. Maybe this is more operational, boots on the ground sort of thing. But essentially, there is, I guess the primary message came down to is this is getting really real. I mean, essentially is what you can kind of nut the whole conversation down to is this is getting really, really, really real, and this is getting very serious, and we're making a lot more progress than we probably thought we would. But the thing is that a lot of what they're offering, even under a best case scenario, right? They get everything they want and they hand it to all of us in silver platter. It's not what a lot of people actually want. What a lot of people actually want, the government can't give them. What a lot of people actually want, the military cannot give them, right? And so that's the challenge. Is that is that a lot of what, like they can say, hey, we think that that we should kind of start discussing data this way because that's what's in the best interest for the goals we're trying to achieve. And if you are trying to achieve those same goals, then far out. But it doesn't speak to essentially another half or more of the community that feels that it is only through some form of direct communication that any sense of what's going on can be achieved.
I want to ask you, because in portions that I heard of that, they were, I don't want to say combative, but they were very, very forceful in their words towards people in government getting into it for the wrong reasons, and that they're supposed to be for the people, by the people, and we see a bunch of them being for themselves and by themselves. And Lou really, really was irritated about this, and Sean Cahill very much concurred that these are experiences that can no longer be ignored. And when will the government of the United States start to open their eyes and remember who they work for?
Yep. And also I want to applaud the three of them, because they were incredibly careful with their language. And it was basically, people in the room and even the other hosts that were, sometimes saying things that were a little more aggressive. I think that the three of them actually were very careful. I was actually kind of impressed, but essentially, hold on, I'm gonna go up. But essentially, yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting situation for sure.
But being that forward and direct towards members of government, I mean, that was a shot across the bow, man.
Well, yeah, it's because of the fact that they're finally starting to share the resistance that they've been seeing inside. That's basically what's been going on, is that up until now they've been seeing all this resistance and they couldn't really complain about it, because they weren't really sure that they were supposed to be doing what they were doing in the first place, right? And now they got a little bit of wind in their sails, and now they're coming out and they're saying, hey, you know what? This is going on, and it's wrong. And it's not just wrong for this, it's fundamentally wrong. And as like people who care about the country, you really want to learn how this works, because this isn't good and it needs to be fixed. And that was a good conversation to have.
Well, I thought it was too. And it's going to be very interesting moving forward with this, because I want to know if those words have some gasoline on them. Maybe I shouldn't use gasoline these days, because we're trying to shut down every pipeline that's in North America right now. But you battery operators, you Duracells, you're a Duracell, John. You're a Duracell. No, I'm teasing.
Lithium ion only, my friend.
The fedora wearing Jon Hudson, you go have a good night. You got more
Always
important things that you got to do.
Yep.
And
Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Hope it all made sense to you, and really do appreciate you hanging on. And once again, we're all for the veterans, so good stuff.
And reminder, you can hear John every Saturday and Sunday on our YouTube channel with Big Willie, Gemma Jade, and Thin Lizzie Borden for the After Hours show. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern is when it gets going for 3 hours a night. We'll talk to you very soon, John. It is time for us to get to Shirky Poo's news. Yeah, Shirky Poo's got us all set up for the big show tonight. We're going to start off with a little wrestling. Yeah, wrestling. WWE fans have been baffled after Logan Paul and Machine Gun Kelly were announced as downloadable characters in the latest installment of the world's largest wrestling franchise's video game series, WWE 2K22. Obviously, Logan Paul has taken part in a number of boxing exhibition matches and has also appeared in the world of professional wrestling too. On one occasion, he appeared at WrestleMania 37 and received a stunner from Kevin Owens. And last August, he turned up again only to be mocked by The Miz. As for Machine Gun Kelly, he also appeared in the WWE universe and also found himself on the wrong side of Kevin Owens. He also performed at one or another WrestleMania once too. And so they got a little bit of history going on here, but fans are baffled why they've been included. After all, Donald Trump famously appeared in the WWE universe back in the day, and he's not been included. One person commented, I was considering buying this game, but now Logan Paul is in it, and I think I'll pass, although beating him with a steel chair does sound fun. He's a nobody in WWE. Why do this? Another person said, how is Machine Gun Kelly not included? Or MSK, sorry, not been included, and MGK is. Man, I hope 2K loses their license. I don't want EA to take over as well. Hopefully they can find a different games developer. Oh, people just not happy. There's a number of classic wrestlers in the game. British Bulldog, Cactus Jack, Rikishi, Yokozuna, as well as former UFC star Ronda Rousey. And in fantastic historic news, going back to WrestleMania 1, Mr. T. The game comes out on April 26th. All right. Talk about racy behavior. An Australian couple has been caught having sex by the side of a highway thanks to photos uploaded to Google Maps. The explicit images were reportedly taken on Duke's Highway just outside of the Australian town of Keith, about halfway between the cities of Adelaide and Melbourne. Yeah, the Google Street View photos were uploaded in 2013, but have now resurfaced on Reddit. The New York Post reported that Google had taken down the photos. They showed the unidentified couple getting caught in the act in front of a silver BMW. According to South Australian law, public sex is punishable by a $1,100 fine or up to 6 months in prison, but it is not believed the couple was arrested. Yeah, they were in fine fashion right there, too. A man who constructed Britain's best man cave is in his back garden could end up spending time behind bars after a deadline to get rid of it expired. 69-year-old Graham Wilden built a huge extension outside the back of his house 8 years ago, and it's definitely an impressive construction. He's got a private casino, a bowling alley, a cinema, squash courts, and a bar. But one thing he didn't have that was required was planning permission for the structure. Problem got as far as the Court of Appeal last year, where Wilden's bid to get a suspended prison sentence for failure to remove the structure was squashed. They also said that by March 10th, 2022, he had to demolish it or face jail time. Obviously, the deadline is now passed, and it doesn't seem as if any type of demolishing has happened. Built in 2014, the structure was controversial with neighbors for sure. A high court judge settled the protracted legal battle with an injunction in 2018 when Wilden was given up until April 2020 to get rid of it or of the 10,000 square foot building. Initially, he was told to get rid of it, the sports center, but then he was found to be in contempt of court after he didn't follow these instructions. The judge hit Wilden with a 6-week sentence suspended for 12 months and told him to absolutely, it had to be gone by next deadline. Lady Justice Lang said that the council couldn't prove whether Wilden could afford to tear down the building, as he's never disclosed his assets fully. Wilden, she said, was entirely the author of his own misfortune and said there was a reasonable basis to believe he was a very wealthy man. Forest of Dean Council was also awarded substantial costs as part of the hearing. And finally tonight, an adventurer from Seattle was awarded a Guinness World Record for hosting the world's highest tea party when he and his team sat down for hot beverages at the height of 21,312 feet above sea level on Mount Everest. Andrew Hughes, an endurance athlete and adventurer, received word from Guinness World Records this month that he and his team had officially set the world record for the highest tea party in the world, where they had tea and snacks at the altitude back on May 5th, 2021. That's probably the same run that Nelson Dellis was on. Hughes said he was preparing to summit the Nepal mountain during the COVID-19 pandemic when he came up with the idea to set a Guinness World Record in the process. Hughes, who successfully reached the summit on May 23rd last year, served tea to team members Ronan Murphy, Kristen Bennett, Garrett Madison, Sid Patterson, Robert Smith, Art Muir, Helen Koki Bennery, Crystal Molesque, Ben Veras, Ken Walsh, Christina Harila, Mark Patterson, Rick Irvin, and James Walker. Oh, the spotted tea on top of the mountain. Yeah. And, oh, by the way, with the tea came some Girl Guide cookies. I brought them all the way from Seattle, Hughes said of the good Girl Guide cookies, but he had ordered them purposely from Girl Scout Troop 6000, which has been specifically designed to benefit and contribute to the girls in New York City's shelter system. What a good guy. What a good guy. All right. Let's get to the thought of the day, shall we? We haven't done one of those in a while. Let's do it because this is a special one. It is officially our good friend Merle's 40th birthday. So the thought of the day is as followed as Merle heads into his 40s. What would you get Merle for his 40th birthday? Jacob, a Sasquatch ghost. Kara, ooh, happy birthday, Merle. I would give him a high five, buy him a beer of whatever else it was his drink of choice. Kevin, I'd pay for his massage and an egg roll. Then the tip of getting something waxed is his responsibility. Jeff, a t-shirt that says, my name is Jeff. Bobby, a coupon for the Bunny Ranch. Magnus, breakfast for dinner. Lori, the same thing I got, nothing. And sitting on the back of a corn planter, just another day. And little Marky Spender, who's a good friend of mine and Merle's, he said, nope, don't want to go there. Don't want to go there. Probably another 13 bullets, if you know what I mean, right there. Thank you to Merle for letting us share his birthday with him, because he's 40, and it's only once. Merle! Thank you to Swamp Dweller, the fedora-wearing Jon Hudson, Shirky Poo for the news, and Ivan Teller for coming on in and bringing the woo tonight. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Trade has docked for the night. And soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night. I'm going to officially call it. We hit peak woo tonight, people. Give yourselves a round of applause. We hit serious peak woo tonight. That was fantastic. Fantastic. That's high quality woo right there. Just going to point it out. Tonight was high quality woo. Pam Smith officially announcing she is not a cuddler, people. Do not cuddle with Pam Smith. She will say, get the hell out of my safe zone, you dirty bastards. Screw your cuddling. Get away from me, you cuddle monster. Oh, yeah, I could hear it right now. You want to piss Pam Smith off? Try and sneak over to the couch and snuggle on in. Yeah, she not putting up with that. She will literally throw a shoe at you. Throw a shoe. You cannot make this up. You just can't. We love her, but don't mess with her. She will throw a shoe at you. She doesn't care. Slippers, stilettos, mountain biking boots, steel-toed when she's working construction up on her roof. She'll chuck them at you. She's accurate, too. Very, very accurate. Just be careful of her. Be careful. It's just a warning. We had a good crowd tonight. We've had a good crowd all week. I'm so tired. Hi, Sensational Sherry. Good night, the Michael Leger. I guarantee you that Pam McSee's Tinder profile, big letters, Pam, wherever she lives, don't cuddle with me, asshole. That's all it says. Her Tinder profile, gorgeous picture of her, and then don't cuddle with me, asshole. I think I'm right. I totally think I'm right. Fade to Black happening on Monday. I'll be with Jimmy for an hour, and then he's going to finish up his show. And he's going to come over and join us. We're going to forewarn him about trying to snuggle up to Pam Smith there. We Runa. What kind of farm do you have? Who's going to Taco Bell? Be honest. Who's making the late night Taco Bell run tonight? I really should just edit this tomorrow, but I'm too tired. That'll be over before we know it. Look at my eyes. Tired eyes. I've already got my pajamas on. Yeah, I broadcast my pajamas. I have no problem doing that. Let's see what's happening in Namibia. Nothing. Nothing's happening. There's bugs flying around. Sure, there's something happening in the distance, but we just can't see it. Keep that open for a second. Hey, all right, we got just over a minute. Thank you to Donnie.
I don't want to be challenged by other.
Yes, Lorian, I will get all you the stuff this weekend. I promise you. More on the plate. Yay. Love my Lorian Fenton. Good to see her at UFO Con 2022 in San Francisco. March 25th to 27th. Lynn Wallington and I will be there, hanging on out, high-fiving Lorian Fenton, who's going to put on another best show. If you've never been to a Lorian Fenton conference, you got to go. You really do. They're one of the best out there, if not the best. At least that's my humble opinion. 0 table space. Don't need any table space. Yeah, don't need any table space. Save that for people who actually have their wares and their books and their everything. Oh, we had some major woo tonight, Lorian. Major woo. We were channeling aliens tonight. Aliens! Much love, Lorian. See you soon. Let's end there. Right there. That part is done. We are almost done. Open that up. Close that in there. Be right with you guys. Oh, Ann Palmer, I plan on it. I am going to be racing upstairs, crawling into bed, and throwing on some Swamp Dweller and going to sleep. It's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I promise you that. Mm-hmm. Those are done. Load this one up. All right, guys, I'm going to call it the night. Don't forget, Lynn Wallington, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday. And you guys are definitely going to want to tune that on in. And I highly suggest you go have fun with that. And let's cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Done. Upload folder. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to say goodnight to all of you guys because I'm going to bed. And then the after hours show with Big Willie, Gemma Jade, Jon Hudson, and Thin Lizzy. You guys will have a kick-ass weekend with them. Good night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.